What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to another episode of the VJVE group build here on Ben Builds. We are moving forward today, guys, on my 148 scale G.55, and today I'm going to go ahead and get some paint down on plastic. So I want to go ahead and hit the light gray at the bottom and then the dark olive on top. For the dark olive, we'll be using this color right here by Mr. Color. This is what they called out for in the instructions, so I'm pretty happy with that. But the gray color, I'm not exactly sure what I want to use for that. I don't have the color they call out specifically in the instructions, so I'm going to have to kind of play around with what I do have. And I thought about using like a neutral gray, but that's a little bit too gray. So I'm actually going to probably use this sky gray. I think that's going to be a nice compromise. So we're going to go ahead and, jump in on this. We're going to paint the gray part first. Then after that's dry, we'll come back, we'll mask off the sides and then the fronts, the wings, and all that good stuff. And then we'll be able to hit it with that dark olive color. I think that's going to be pretty simple to do. And all these colors, I'm going to really, really thin them out so I don't actually obscure all of the pre-shade that I've done. That's one of my issues. I always end up obscuring a lot of the pre-shade. So I want to go ahead and try to avoid that. So we're going to mix up first the gray. I'm going to go most likely 2 parts thinner, 1 part paint. I'm going to go ahead and spray it about 12 psi and just really kind of evenly cover the entire bottom part of the wing, the front of the nose, the tail, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and cue up that time lapse, get this going, see how it turns out. Alright everybody, we have all of the bottom section painted and I went ahead and I did some masking and this is ready for the dark olive color on top. Now again, I'm going to go super thin with the paint. I'm most likely going to do, like I said, 2 parts thinner, 1 part paint, spray it at about 12 psi. I'm going to be real gentle with it, mist coats over it, but I want to go ahead and try to maintain as many of those dark panel lines as possible. Let's go ahead and try it and see what happens. I don't really work with Mr. Color all that much, so let's go ahead and try it and see how we do. right, everybody. So I went ahead and I overcoated everything with a very, very thin mixture of that dark olive green. And I like how it looks. I think you can see the pre-shade below it. I tried to keep it as light and as even as possible, but I want to go ahead and try doing a little bit of stenciling. We're going to take some Mr. Color hemp that I actually purchased for my FJ2, and I'm going to attempt to kind of spray random patterns and then overcoat everything with a very super, super thin covering of the dark olive. Then, of course, at that point, I can mix up a little olive and a little bit of hemp and then overcoat each of the center panel lines, try to get those nicely kind of evened out, lightened up. But we'll just see how we do. Let's hit it. All right, everybody. So that was very exciting. I really enjoyed working with that paint. I've got the lightened coat on top of each of the panels. I think it looks pretty decent. Dark colors are always difficult to work with. At least I find them very difficult to work with to give some impression of fading and all that good stuff. So with the very lightened color of dark olive, I was able to maintain all of those panel lines. Then using the stenciling patterns that I've got here and my hemp color, that gave me a little bit of variation and nuance. Then I mixed up a super thin covering of dark olive, probably a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 parts thinner, 1 part paint, overcoated everything to blend it all together. And then I mixed up a little bit of hemp and dark olive to go ahead and to give a lightening effect right in the center of each of the panels. It's exactly what I was going for. You have a slight shift in coloring. You have the darkened panel lines. You get a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. And then finally the center of the panel is the lightest that it's going to be. I tried to kind of stick to the top surfaces. So the tops of the wings, tops of the fuselage, tops of the nose. I think it worked out decently. Let's go ahead and pull off the masks though, and let's see how it looks with the full effect. So all of our masks are nicely pulled off, and I gotta tell you, yeah, I dig it. I think it's a nice color combination. The gray turned out beautifully, though it is a little bit stark here and there with the panel lines. I might want to kind of blend it together just a little bit more, but for the most part, I like how it's turned out. I do have one area right here on the leading edge of the wing. I need to go ahead and extend the dark olive just a little bit because it's a little bit shallow, but other than that, that's pretty decent. Now moving forward from here, we do have a couple of extra parts we do have to focus on, like the propeller and then landing gears as well. Those are going to be most likely fairly simple. I don't know how they go together, but we're going to go ahead and try that on the next episode. But then we'll have most of the parts on and we can shift over to the gloss coat. Just giving you a little close-up of the paintwork. It's not the best out there. There are lots of other airbrushers and lots of other modelers that do this far better than I do, but I am learning and I'm having some fun playing around with going from dark to light, and I'm really enjoying these more monochromatic finishes, but I wanted to give it a little bit more nuance and just try some new techniques and attempt to work a little bit more on techniques I've used in the past. And for the most part, I think it turned out decently enough. Now, of course, we have to go ahead and come back and overcoat everything with a nice gloss coat, but we'll do that after we install the landing gears and after we install the propeller. But that's going to be it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is really turning out to be a very, very fun kit. I thought it was going to be super difficult to do and being limited to run and all that, but so far, I'm not really having that much issue with it. So highly recommend it if you guys like the Italian aircraft. But until our next episode, everybody, you guys know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, go build something cool, and we'll see you back here on the next episode, the VJ VE Group Build, hosted by HobbyLink International. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.